Okay, so here's our next example. A DVD player costs $140. The sales tax is 5.75%. What is the total cost of the DVD player? So again, $140 would be our subtotal. So to find how much I'm having to pay in tax, I take the tax rate, 5.75%, and I'm going to multiply that by the cost, $140. Now, before I can multiply, I have to do what? I have to change my percent into a decimal. So I'm going two places to the left. So this number is 0.0575. So now my calculator, I'm going to multiply that out. 140 times 0.0575. You get 8.05. So that means the tax is $8.05. Now, did it ask me what the tax was? No. Reread the question. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. This time it says the total cost. So how can I find out how much I'm having to pay in total? I'm going to add the $140 that I paid for the DVD player plus the $8.05 for the tax for $148.05. Okay, try this one. Now, as I'm just looking at it, what's different about that sales tax from what we've been doing previously? It has a fraction in it instead of a decimal. So if it were me, I would change that fraction to a decimal first. So what is 1/2 written as a decimal? We all should know that one. That should be one we have memorized. 0.5. So if I'm doing 5 1/2, that is 5.5. So I would make this from 5 1/2 into 5.5%. That would be the first thing I would do. And everything else, I'll let you try it. Okay, so tell me, how did you find this?
First of all, I converted 5.5 into a decimal.
Yes. So what did you get when it was a decimal?
0.055.
Yes, 0.055. Okay, now what?
Then I multiplied 42 times 0.055.
Very good. And then when you multiply those, what did you get? You didn't write it down? Well, you should write them down. That's kind of how you work math out on paper.
2.31.
So $2.31, that's how much I'm having to pay in tax. Is that what it asked me?
No.
No, the total cost. So what do I need to do?
Plus 42.
So 42 plus 231, and that gives you
44.31.
So that should be our total cost, $44.31. Okay, so in addition to sales tax, we also have what's called a tip or gratuity. It is a small amount of money that you give to someone in return for a service. The total price is the regular price of the service plus the tip. So, again, if you go out to a restaurant to eat and you have a waiter or waitress, you normally give them a tip. There's other times, like if you go to a hotel and you have somebody that gets your luggage for you, you tip them, right? All kinds of places where you have to give a tip to someone for their service. If you have a delivery guy delivering you pizza or something else, you'd want to give them a tip as well. There's probably more examples that I'm not thinking of. But it kind of works the same way. A lot of restaurants you'll go to, especially if you have a large party with you, they have a set amount of gratuity or a set tip that you must pay. A lot of the times it's 18% of your total cost.
That's that one, Mom.
Okay. So you are familiar with that? You've heard that before?
Yes.
Especially if you have a large party, like with more than 6 or 8 people, they will require you to pay that tip. A lot of times, though, when it's a smaller group, they'll just let you pay whatever tip you feel is appropriate. but that's always a good starting point, is at least 12. I mean, at worst, it should be 12% probably. But I normally pay at least 18%, if not more. So right here it says a customer wants to tip 15% of the restaurant bill. What will be the total bill with the tip? So you'll see there, they've handed him this check. He got the herb salmon for $16.25. You got some chicken pasta that costs $15.25. And then 2 orders of iced tea. And you'll see down there at the bottom, they have listed a total for us. When they added all those up, the total of his bill is $35. But he wants to add on a 15% tip. So what we're going to do is, same thing. We want to know what is 15% of $35. So first thing we need to do is change 15% into a decimal. So 15%, 2 places to the left, that's going to give me 0.15. So I would multiply 35 times 0.15. 5.25. So that is the tip that he's going to leave, is $5.25. So what is the total with the tip included? Well, we would add that together. $35 plus $5.25 gives us a total of $40.25. So Scott wants to tip his taxi cab driver if his commute costs $15 and he wants to give the driver a 20% tip. What is the total cost? So this is the one for you to try on your own. Okay?
We changed 20.
Yep.
Moved over 2 places.
Okay.
That'd be 0.20.
Yep.
And then you do 15 times 0.20.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. So $3 is going to be the tip. So then the question is not what the tip is, but what's the total cost? So how do we find the total cost?
$3 plus 15.
Very good. Which is $18. Very good. Okay, here's the next one. We have a haircut costing $20. On this haircut, you have a sales tax for 4.75%. We want to know, is $25 sufficient? So what does sufficient mean? Is it enough? If you had $25, is that enough to cover the haircut with tax and a 15% tip? So this person not only is going to pay $20 for the haircut, they're going to pay sales tax, which is 4.75%, and they want to also give a tip of 15% to the person cutting their hair. We want to know, do they have enough money? So this is a little bit different because we have both a tip and sales tax. All right, everybody see how that's different? It's funny. It's real funny that there's 2% up there. It's hilarious. Okay, so now that I've got those percentages, the difference is I'm going to add those 2 percentages together before I find out the extra amount of money. So if I've got a 15% tip and 4.75%, let's add those. So 15 plus 4.75 is 19.75%. So I'm wanting to pay an extra 19.75% from that $20. So now that they're combined, I'm going to turn this into a decimal. It becomes just like we did before. So my decimal is 0.1975. So I would take the $20 haircut and I would multiply that by 0.1975. When I multiply, I get 3.95. 3.95. So this is how much I'm going to pay in both tip and in tax. So how much is my haircut going to cost me in total then? Well, I'm paying $20 for the haircut plus $3.95 for tip and tax, which gives $23.95. So back to the original question. Is $25 enough to cover everything I want to do with this haircut?
Yes.
It is. It is enough money. So is $25 sufficient? Yes, it is. It's only going to really cost me $23.95.
You wrote the whole number?
Okay?
I don't really know for this tax because the last tax you kept the same, but this one's like just one number.
There's two. There's 6% for tax and 20% for tip. So I need to know how much extra am I going to pay in total with those 2%.
You do 20 plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
You get 26 and then
Okay, so I'm going to pay 26% total. So now what do I do? I want to do math with 26%, but I can't do it with a percentage.
you put, you add 0 decimal.
Mm-hmm. So I'm moving the decimal 2 places to the left. Turn that into a decimal, 0.26.
Then you add that to 42.
Okay. I'm going to do what with it?
I mean, not add.
Yeah, I didn't think you meant add. Multiply them.
That.
So 42 times 0.26. $10.92. Thanks, I appreciate it. Okay. And so now I want to find the total cost. So how can I do that? $10.92 is how much I'm paying in tax and tip, plus $42 for the spa day. So I would add those two together. Add the cost plus your tax and tip. So what is 42 plus 10.92?
52.92.
Yep. You should get $52.92.